Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How you doing? And welcome to Simply Brilliant. I'm Phil Brilliant. It is Thursday, February 12th, and I did that without looking at the calendar. I hope you all are doing well this morning. And it's warm out there, relatively speaking. It's over 32 degrees. Nice to see and enjoyable to come out in the morning and not get hit with the blast of cold air. But once again, I'm not going to complain. It is winter here in New Jersey, and this is what we get. So a couple things I want to hit as we start off this morning. So one is next week I'm going to switch up my schedule a little. For those of you who are dedicated listeners, I do appreciate it. I'll be on Tuesday morning and I'll be on Wednesday morning. Going to take a couple of days off out of town, so I will not be on Thursday, but I'll be back the following Tuesday. Just a long weekend. Don't worry, I won't be away too long. So again, that'll be Tuesday and Wednesday next week. And please tune in and hopefully, again, you are appreciating my simply brilliant minutes. I am going to continue to try to shorten them, though, and I do apologize for their length. There's always so much to talk about. Like this morning, I had already thought about what I was going to talk about. And lo and behold, a video gets sent in, and it's a video of Mayor Daniel Rodrick of Toms River driving the Toms River Township vehicle, our taxpayer vehicle. We pay for the gas. We pay for the insurance. We pay for the maintenance. Okay. Follow me here. We pay for the vehicle itself. Uh, Driving through a sign that says no turn on red, and the light is clearly red. It appears to be the corner of Indian Hill and Hooper Avenue, which is not too far from his house. And I point this out because I have no idea who sends this video. Uh, it comes through a social media page. I take that back. I know who sent it because I can see their name. I will not share their name. But it's funny because, he says there's 13 people from the Mohill gang who just continue to bring this up. I will tell you, I have no idea who this person is. And, with close to 17,000 signatures, Dan Roderick, it is time to realize there are more than 13 people who are against your administration. There are more than 13 people who believe you should not be mayor. And there are more than 13 people who are fed up with the way that you take advantage of the taxpayers. It's time to start realizing that and making it all add up to the fact that you really don't have the popularity you think you do in Toms River. And hopefully next year you will see that in the election results. With that said, what I did want to cover though is a lot of text messages, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. I was out of town yesterday, because I work for a living, and asking how come council meeting and the zoning meeting for tonight, which has now been canceled, isn't moved to a school. That's been done before in the past. How come it's not moved to a other building that's owned by the township? There are many buildings here in Toms River that are empty that are owned by the township. Riverwood Park, uh, the youth center, move it to the rec building, which had a pipe break and now there's already been fixed. I don't have answers for you. Not addressed at all in any of the articles. The only thing can tell you is when you have zero relationship with any of the auxiliary or any of the other organizations, whether it be government, business, nonprofit, whatever, you can't just pick the phone up and say, "Hey, how you doing? Good to speak to you. Can we borrow your building?" Because you have done nothing for anybody in the town. You have argued against the schools. You've argued with the county. Who's going to come to your rescue? Who can you pick the phone up and call? Nobody. Because when you're just somebody who just tries to bully their way through everything, when you need somebody, they're not there for you. It reminds me also because I have great concern. So we had a pipe break in the municipal building. I've seen the word burst. I've seen the words flooded. I've seen the word mold, and I've seen asbestos. Again, in complete transparency, I do environmental consulting. That's my day job. I am not an asbestos expert. I am not a mold expert. But as somebody who is an environmental expert who does due diligence on commercial, residential, industrial properties, I know enough about everything to identify issues. And I have taken enough continuing education classes to know that even if the hottest, the steam pipe or whatever pipe breaks in your building, your house, you don't have mold within 24 hours. It just doesn't happen unless you have created a small, sealed, heated environment and be able to produce the mold spore that fast. Okay. So, mold in the building that quickly, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. That makes me question what I have read. Asbestos, I'm all in. Okay. The age of these buildings that we've had seen pipe breaks, whether the county or the town, I wouldn't be surprised if the pipes are not insulated with some kind of asbestos wrap. But as Daniel Rodrick has said at council meetings, you wet it, you remove it, and you dispose of it. It's not that big of an issue, but I will tell you, you need to make sure that if you have friable asbestos, which becomes airborne, that you've done some air testing to make sure the air is clean because you don't want to bring people back in and having the air go through the ductwork that now is spreading asbestos through the building. I don't know what's happened there. So I just say, I don't question the asbestos part, but I have no information. I completely question the mold part. And when you cry wolf enough, my mom used to tell me, if you cry wolf enough, there'll be a point in time where nobody will believe what you're saying. And Daniel Rodrick has cried wolf a lot and be proven wrong time after time after time. So when he's the only spokesperson, we haven't heard from anybody else in Tom's River about what's going on. And I personally have spoken to and heard from people who have been in the building, who have talked to people in the building. I doubt 100% of what has been portrayed by Daniel Rodrick. And if you remember correctly, January 2024, he didn't want to face the people when it came to the police ordinance to cut the positions. He moved that meeting to Zoom, and we know what happened there. October 2025, he didn't want to face the people because of Clifton Avenue Park. He didn't want to have to come out on the record relative to things that were happening in town right before the election. That meeting was canceled. And remember, there were emails that were shared by Transparent Tom's River Residents for Transparency social media page that showed that Justin Lamb, council president at the time, did not cancel that meeting. Okay. And was questioning why the meeting was canceled. Daniel Rodrick did it. He has this control thing. So now, once again, we see this week, and I'm not, by the way, I am not saying that Daniel Rodrick went in with a hammer, a wrench, or whatever it was and broke a pipe in the municipal building. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he created this whole entire thing, but to not have a council meeting on Wednesday night and with what's on the agenda was not approving the acting business administrator who he's put into place, Drew Chabot, to have an ordinance on there which was going to establish a minimum requirement for the police department. Um, and I could throw in there, if you really want to, my reappointment to the MUA. So if he didn't want to face the public or the council or have the council have the opportunity to approve those, he's got a cancellation of that meeting. He's not going to move it somewhere. And tonight is supposed to be the Board of Adjustments meeting, the zoning board meeting, for the family shelter, the permanent shelter to be opened. It's already an existing building. It's a residential property that's owned by St. Joe's Church. But now that's been canceled and that's been kicked down the road to March 12th. Something that's needed. Going to be able to house up to 14 individuals who are family and or pregnant women. A win-win for what's needed here in Toms River. I'm not saying that Daniel Rodrick opposes it. I have no idea of his opinion on it, but to be able to kick it down the road and not have to deal with it, that is the MO of Tom's River Mayor Daniel Rodrick. What do lawsuits do? They kick things down the road so you don't have to deal with it. And I use the perfect example all the time. Capadaglia project, Meridia, downtown redevelopment. Tom's River rescinded and council voted the Tom's River Rodrick puppets to rescind the redevelopment agreement in downtown Tom's River, which hence eliminated the agreements in place with Meridia for Capadaglia to build their uh, development. It is in court. If and when the court decides in favor of Capadaglia, Tom's River loses and Capadaglia can construct. But he kicked it down the road. Nobody's talking about it, but I will keep reminding you of that because as much as he will say he stopped development, he didn't stop crap. He just kicked it down the road and said, let the court decide what to do. And if you haven't taken a chance to drive through North Dover of Tom's River, development is thriving. The Route 9 corridor, commercial properties, thriving. Residential properties on Church, on Cox Crow, on Whitesville. It's a boom, boom, boom. And you want to say, okay, that was under the Mayor Hill administration. They approved all that. Daniel Rodrick said, I would stop development. I actually recently saw somebody sent me a clip from a 2019 debate when Rodrick was running for mayor against Mayor Hill and Joe Coronado. And Rodrick came out and said, I am going to stop development. I think the development in North Dover is out of control and I'm going to stop it. He's done nothing to stop it. Okay. His planning and zoning boards have approved things in North Dover, but not in downtown Toms River. And everybody is keyed on downtown Toms River because that's where the redevelopment was. Smoke and mirrors of Dan Rodrick. But once again, you cry wolf enough times, you don't believe exactly what he says. But don't forget what I said. Litigation kicks the can down the road. It doesn't make immediate decisions. And that's what he uses to be able to make people believe that he's stopping things and doing things. So council meeting didn't happen this week. Zoning board didn't happen this week. Zoning board, I think, has moved to 2 weeks for whatever was on the agenda, except for the permanent shelter will be moved to March 12th. And the next council meeting is February 26th. So that'll be, when we'll all get back together again. I'm going to end, I said I was going to try to stay quick. Tuesday starts what I love every year. This is going to be our 5th year. And as part of the Greater Toms River Chamber of Commerce, the former chairman, I have the opportunity to collaborate with the Toms River school system and specifically the Business Academy and Toms River High School South. And we do what we call tribal council. We call it that because South's mascot is the Indian, Tom the Indian. And basically, tribal council are the high school seniors in the Business Academy have to present their business plan to panels of business owners, operators, and employees in Toms River. And they present their plans. They get graded on their plans, similar to what Shark Tank does. And then the top 10 come back a week later to compete in the finals for scholarship money. $2,500, $2,000, $1,500. Those are numbers that rattle around in my head. I think those are the scholarships. I'll tell more about it as we get up, but I get to do that again on Tuesday and Wednesday next week. I love participating in that. The students we have in the Business Academy and our students in our Toms River school system are A+ in my book. And our faculty and our administration are A++. Because I look at Mr. Azzolini as how he works with these students and prepares them. And every year we, give constructive criticism and he implements it into his presentations. So it's one thing to be able to participate. It's another thing to be able to see that the feedback we give as business owners and employees giving to these students and to the faculty, they listen and they implement. And I get the opportunity to meet these students after graduation. I see them all throughout Toms River. I see what they do in major institutions throughout this country, and it's phenomenal. And so I get to do that next Tuesday, Wednesday. That is at Toms River High School South, and when we do the final, it is aired on Toms River Education Channel. I think it's channel 22. Don't quote me on that. I'll figure that out though, and it's also on their website. But you get to watch it and see it, and you can see what these great kids do. So I'm excited about that, and that'll be next week. And I will close. Uh, Saturday is Valentine's Day. Men, make sure you take care of your Valentine. Uh, I extend a very big happy Valentine's Day out to Debbie. Not quite sure how she puts up with me most days, but she does, and I'm glad she does. And it's one of those hallmark holidays that a lot of people kind of poo-poo and say it doesn't really mean anything. Because to me, it does mean something because you are showing that love and support back to the person who loves and supports you. But you should do that every day. Don't just do it one day a year. Make it every day of the year. So I'm Phil Brilliant. I wish everybody a very happy Valentine's Day, a safe and warm weekend because we'll be over 32 degrees. It does appear. And don't forget, there are people out there who don't have what we have and have the opportunity to have a roof over their head or food on their plate. If you get the opportunity to support JBJ Soul Kitchen in downtown Toms River, do so. And if you get the opportunity to support anybody who is in need in our community, please make sure to get out there and do it. Have a great day. Phil Brilliant from Simply Brilliant. Bye bye.